Some of you may remember it, some of you may not. If you don't, I will explain. Where has it been this whole time? After all this time, it suddenly reappears. Here's my Jauch triple chime back from the dead. So this video is going to be about my Jauch triple chime and where it has been for the last year. So some of you guys may remember I got this thing on January 3rd, 2025. And ever since then, it has mostly been sat as an empty case. And you might be wondering, well then what happened to the movement then? Well, the movement in this clock right now is not original, because the movement was replaced. And you might be asking, well, why was it replaced? Didn't it work fine? Well, yes, it did work fine. Although the movement itself was basically on life support. Why? Because the movement was covered in so much tarnish and rust, and some green spots on some of the movement, and on the escapement wheel, and a bunch of old oil and dust, that it barely ran. I mean, it ran for a full 8 days, but over the course of those 8 days, it barely ran. Like, the swing arc was narrow, as you may have seen in the last video. I've shown of this thing when I got it. And that's what a typical Jauch swing arc is supposed to look like, not narrow. Like how the Kinsla has. But that one is a exception because it has a pop spring, so yeah. Anyways, like I said, the movement was basically on life support because the like I said, movement was covered in tarnish and rust. Here, I can actually pull up a photo of what it looked like. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So, after a few months, a year ago, after a few months of having this thing when I first got it on January, for a few months I had it running, but over the course of the few months, the thing slowly just quit entirely. Well, it still worked, but just slowed down over the course of a few months. And at that point, this was back when I didn't know much about repair, so that's on me. And looking back at it, I should have kept it the way it was, just kept it in its case and just leave it in storage, or just have it sit on the wall and not do anything until I got a new movement for it. But me being me, and still am, a year ago, I just at the time decided to just part the entire movement out. I mean, you can't blame me. The thing was covered in rust and tarnish, so the thing barely ran. It was basically on life support, so you can't really blame me for that part. But at the same time, it could have been saved, so I do understand that. So, after I parted out that movement, I just went on with my collecting journey. And during those times, I tried to search for a Jauch triple chime movement, which quite frankly I did not know at the time. Finding a Jauch triple chime movement by itself is kind of hard, because people don't just sell Jauch triple chime movements that are spring driven by themselves. Usually you'll find them usually you'll find them as a whole clock, not just a movement. But it's rare to find a Jauch triple chime movement by itself. So I did find a few over the course of a year, but most of those were just expensive or not in really good shapes. And so I just stopped thinking about it for quite a while until last year of, I think, October or December or January. I'm not too sure, or it was later on this year where I decided to You know what? I'll search again for a triple chime movement. It's already been a while. Why not search again? So I went on the good old eBay and searched up Jauch triple chime, and lo and behold, there was a few Jauch triple chime movements. One was I think, later one that had some Koeniger parts on it. I'm not too sure, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I mean, it was a Jauch movement, but it wasn't one I was looking for. And it was triple chime, by the way. Then the other one, it was a triple chime movement like I was looking for, that I needed for this case. But it wasn't in the really best condition. It had rust, and most of the parts on that thing were worn out. So I was like, you know what, I'll keep looking and just forget those two, because those ones are not gonna do. So I kept looking for a little while. Then after that, I just stopped looking, because again, they're kind of hard to find by themselves as a movement, and yeah. So after that, I just moved on with the idea again, up until recently. My good friend Jude, aka Decor's Clocks, you guys already know him at this point. He went to, well, actually no, there was this collector nearby where he lived, and the person had, like, there it goes right now. And the person had, like, a bunch of good clocks, like German, from American to, yeah, you name it. From wall clocks, mantle clocks, grandfather clocks, yeah, you name it. Yeah, the person had a pretty good collection. But the person that was selling the collection, it was I guess, like, it was a limited time buy thing, so you kind of had to be quick. So my friend Jude, he went over there, and I think he bought some Hershey mantle clock. I'm not saying which one it is, because I'm not sure if he released a video on that thing. Probably not, but he did buy some Hershey mantle clock. And then after he got that, he called us and told us about the Hershey. Then he told me that they had a Jauch triple chime movement from 1971. I did not know they made them that early, but they did. But yeah, he told me that they had a Jauch triple chime movement in the back of their place, and I was like, could this be it? Could this be my time to finally get this thing running? So, after about a few days, well, actually, no, not a few days. After about a day, Jude went back to the place, and I'm assuming he asked about it, and then from there he got the movement. And once I saw it, I was basically freaking out at that point. I was like, holy shit, this could be it. This could be finally my time to get this thing finally running again after such a long time. So after he got the movement, he tested it just to make sure that it worked, and everything worked fine. Yeah, everything worked fine. And after that, I waited about, I think, a few months after to come over to his place. Hence why I uploaded those videos earlier of his clocks, because I was over at his place for the weekend. And during that time, I managed to acquire the Jauch triple chime movement, which now sits in this case. And so yesterday I got dropped off at home. Yeah. Along with the movement and my other stuff, obviously. The first thing I did with the movement was oil it, just to make sure that it ran fine. I mean, the movement ran fine, but I just oiled it just to make sure. And after I oiled it, I put it on this test stand, which is a grandmother clock case, but I just use it as a test stand for now. But I put it on this grandmother clock case to put it in testing for a few hours, and after a few hours, it kept going. So I was like, okay, now usually you're supposed to wait maybe like a few days after, but I'm very impatient when it comes to my clocks. So I just waited a few hours until I thought it was good to go. So after about a few hours, I was like, okay, you know what? It works fine. I'm too impatient. It's been a long time. I want to see this thing running again. So I took the movement out of here. Then I put the seatboard on and dial on. Well, no, I didn't put the dial on first. I put the seatboard on first, then slid the movement in to make some adjustments to the hammers and whatnot. Then after that, make sure everything was good. I tightened down the movement to the seatboard fully. Then I still gotta adjust that. Then I took the movement out again, and then put the dial on, which thankfully I got it on first try because the dial perfectly lined up with the front glass thing right here, which usually that never happens, but I got it on first try, so that was pretty cool. So after getting the movement in with its dial on, then I put the hands on, which that hand nut, I don't think it's correct for the movement because Jauch's have a different kind of hand nut to them, so I'm not sure if that hand nut is original, but I'm sticking with it for now. But anyways, after getting the movement and hands on and dial, like I just said, then I put the pendulum on, then ran through all the quarters, and lo and behold, the thing sounded amazing. And the best part about it, it's running. So after all this time, she's finally running again. I am very happy with how this turned out, and I would never do the same thing what I did to the other movement. Well, mostly because this movement is in way better condition than the old one. It doesn't have any rust or tarnish besides some wear a little bit on the verge escapement or something like that. But other than that, this thing is in really good condition, the movement itself. So I'm really happy with how this turned out, and it works perfectly too. And the chimes are very good too. So yeah, there she is, finally running again and off the projects list. Now, I would chime it in this video, but I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll just make a separate video of it chiming. But for now, I'll just do this for you guys. I'll show you guys the movement. As you can see, it's in really good condition. I'm not gonna take it out. I might do that in the other video when I chime it. But yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, here's a little quick demo. And here's the strike side. We'll do it again, why not? Yeah, there you go. There's the pendulum. That's its original pendulum, by the way. And its key. But yeah, besides that, everything is all original in this thing, besides the movement. Well, it's made by the same company, but not original to the case. But yeah, anyways, these are chimes up there. I have it on Whittington, I think. Yeah. But yeah, there you go. There's the Jauch triple chime, finally running. Yeah, finally back up and running after such a long time. Well, only been a year, but still. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A separate video will be coming out for this thing of me demoing all the chimes. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.